shrinking Euphemia to present her to Lady Courtland. Miss Stride looked to right and left like a trapped animal, but since she desperately needed the money Augusta was to pay her, she stiffened her threadbare velvet spine and led Augusta towards where Lady Courtland was standing. An extremely tall woman, the lady looked down at Augusta's crocodile smile with eyes that were as hard and sparkling as her diamonds. Miss Stride gave an apologetic cough and made the introductions. Lady Courtland haughtily held out one finger for Miss Harvey to shake. Augusta, however, seized Lady Courtland by the whole hand and wrung it fervently. "So pleased," she simpered awfully. "'Tis so kind of your ladyship to invite me on this monstrous genteel occasion." "I did not invite you," snapped Lady Courtland. "I was under the impression that Miss Stride was bringing a friend." "And so she did, Lord bless her," said Augusta, putting a fat arm round the cringing Euphemia Stride. "Me and Euphy is the dearest of friends." Now Miss Harvey was a prey to flatulence, and her embarrassing malady suddenly decided to overtake her. A sound worthy of Wellington's artillery at Salamanca rattled from beneath her skirts, and slowly, raising a perfumed handkerchief to her nose, Lady Courtland turned and walked majestically away. Euphemia dragged Augusta to the side of the ballroom. Miss Stride resolved to make the best of things. She would suffer the evening, take Augusta's money, and never, never set eyes on that repellent woman again. But first, she had to earn her money. She set herself to please by pointing out various notables. There was my Lord Avonlea, and there was the Countess Leven, and that very handsome man was the Earl of Hestleton, and there was little Miss Parsy. "Parsies are in trade, merchants," said Miss Harvey. "How did she get here?" "Because," explained Miss Stride, "Miss Parsy is engaged to young Lord Welcome, and that makes a difference. One can often get entree to the best families through marriage. Now, if you were younger—" Miss Stride's voice trailed off, and she allowed herself the luxury of a malicious titter. "Well, I ain't," said Augusta slowly. "But Penelope is." "Who's Penelope?" "Niece of mine," remarked Miss Augusta, staring at the dancing figures. "She's working at some seminary in Bath as a governess. Beautiful girl, an orphan. Do you think she—" "Oh, of course! What a good idea!" exclaimed Euphemia Stride, who privately thought that Miss Harvey would need a great deal more than a beautiful niece to make even the smallest crack in the social world. "I'll see," said Augusta. "I'll see. Meanwhile, I may as well move about and meet these grand folks." "I wouldn't do that," exclaimed Miss Stride in dismay. "Why not?" said Miss Harvey. "You saw how civil Lady Courtland was with me." And to Miss Stride's horror, she wandered off in the direction of the row of chaperons. "How do?" said Augusta cheerfully, smiling her widest until her teeth seemed to stretch to her ears. "May I present myself? I am a great friend of Lady Courtland." The lady she had addressed sat looking up into Augusta's glittering smile as if she could not believe her eyes. Now, the Baroness Dalsey was not a particularly aggressive or malicious woman, but the sight of the beaming Augusta was too much for her. "Go away. Shoo!" said the Baroness, flapping her fan. "I declare, the Courtland's cook has come a-visiting." The hard eyes of the row of chaperons bored into Augusta's protruding green ones, and even the thick-skinned Augusta felt obliged to retreat. She swept through the double doors of the ballroom and stood irresolute in the hall. When Penelope was married to a duke, why then they would sing a different tune. She realized with a start that in her mind she had already invited Penelope to London, and to make up for some of the cost of bringing her niece to town, she would cut